don't hardly pay anything, but you gotta get it out of the woods. The old star car for the win, boys. Welcome back, everyone. I just want to say thanks for all the support for the first 2 videos we put out there last week. It was good to hear from everybody. Some old people that's been subscribers a long time and new. It really means a lot, and I think we can make this channel grow, and it's gonna have a lot of fun with it. We got a lot planned, and especially having this new beast on the channel, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So we'll kind of dive right into things. First off, this right here is the machine we just brought home the other day. I haven't done anything to it other than fix the tire. It was this side over here, and I'll throw up some clips right now of me replacing it. Going over priority stuff, which is the tire. It had been sitting out in the field, and it had a flat tire, I think, for the past year or 2. And I got it in here. Problem is the rim is pretty well shot. I did patch it up to get us by, so it's not sitting in the driveway dead. But somebody's patched it years ago. They put like welded on a new ring around the outside for the bead. It's super beat. A lot of it's kind of caved in and thinned out. The biggest problem was the old valve stem was rotted right out. So I cut it out, put in some patches, ground it all down, wire wheeled the whole rim, coated it with a coat of paint. And the rim already had an indent for a new valve stem, so I just drilled it on this side and welded on a new protector. I think it'll get me by. I got to keep an eye out for some rims. These are 16 930 tires, and I guess they're hard to find according to everybody around here. I drove like 2 hours, well, hour and a half north of me this weekend. The guy had one, but I got up there and it was just as rough as shape, so I don't want to spend $250 on the same thing I got. I'll just be patient. Hopefully something will pop up. Getting ready to mount the old tire back on it, and just picked up a tube up to a local tractor dealership. It's a Firestone tube. I didn't buy the forestry special tube. I think there is a difference for sure, but seems how this is going to be a patch job. I didn't want to spend big money on the special tube. It's still a Firestone. It should be okay. So let's start putting this tire back on. Alright, I think we got yeehaw, baby! Alright, so I got the first bead on. I got the tire blocked up with a couple blocks, and I got the tube on it. I blew the tube up just to get the wrinkles out. Now I'm going to deflate it a little bit, and then I'll weave it in under there, get it tucked in, and get the valve stem pulled out through. Now this is the critical step, is to not getting this sucker all wrinkled up. Snowmobile clutch tire holder thingamajig out. I love this old junk. I don't know why, but I'm just attracted to it for some reason. Alright, we're on the home stretch here. hopefully we got a good tube when we're done. That's gonna really irk me. Alright. Well, she's holding air. Now if I can get it out here without wrecking myself. Alright, we're getting her back together. I'll know in the morning if my tube got pinched. I don't think it did though. Be $100 mistake. So I'll keep my eyes out. It's not a desperate thing by any means, but honestly, it's parked here in front of the barn, and I haven't checked anything else on it. That's what we'll go over a little bit. We're gonna go through this and check the fluids and stuff, and fire it up and actually drive it up the driveway, maybe out back, and see what's going on with it. I need to try the winch. I was told the winch didn't work, so I want to check that out. And I just want to get this thing pretty well ready to go for the winter. Just gonna use it as a spare in the meantime, and then if the channel starts to grow more, we'll throw it in the shop and start doing some serious overhauling on it, hopefully after this winter, and kind of start right at the rear of it and go through the back. It needs a bunch of little stuff, but nothing that's going to stop it from cutting wood. I'll probably, this one's tight, this one's all gone. I had to replace the bearings on mine, so that's no big deal, so I'll probably put those in it, and then just make sure that it's all set to yard wood for the winter. And anyways, so I also got a couple clips from this week of cleaning up down that wood lot you saw me at. I'm moving out of there, so I'll throw those up right now as well, of Jeff getting some pine logs and some chipwood out of there. Jeff's getting some pine cleaned up. I gotta get out of here this week, so he's gonna stay here this afternoon and keep cleaning up. I got chipwood, biomass, which is all the pine tops, and I got some pine logs, so. This chipwood don't hardly pay anything, but you gotta get it out of the woods. The old Star car though, she's pretty impressive. I've only had to pull him out of here once. Other than that, she pretty well chews her way out of here. The old Star car for the win, boys. Chipwood, pine pulp, whatever you want to call it. Well, Jeff's back here getting a load of pine logs now. That side's all cleaned up, just some hardwood left over for the landowner. Now we're working on this side. I think tomorrow I gotta just finish up. I'll go in the woods and clean up a bunch of dead wood. Make up another little chipwood, that biomass stuff. That's it. For the pine logs on this lot for the season. We'll see if the Western Star can crawl out of here again. Bit of a ride. No. Oh man. That thing's an animal. There she goes. Yep. That Western Star is pretty nimble. And I have not had a chance to run this at all, other than to back it here and fix this tire. So we'll check the engine fluids and start it up, let it warm up. I want to make sure the temperature gauge on the engine's working, and maybe drive it down the driveway and up back for a few minutes and warm it up. And then we'll back over here and we'll try the winch out and see what's going on with that. So I don't even know. She's gonna need a big pressure washing. She's been sitting out in the field for a while. Well, it's got oil. Looks definitely needs to be changed. All right, let's see what she does. I don't know if it's gonna need ether or not. It's been sitting in the sun all day, so maybe it will be all right. Wow. Pretty tight in it because it doesn't even smoke, and that's pretty rare for a Detroit. And to start that easy, I'd say she got quite a bit of life left in her. I will definitely change all the fluids on the motor, and I'll pull the valve cover off, and we'll make sure the valves are adjusted and all that. But I think it's a pretty good runner. So we'll let it warm up, and then we'll see what she does. Go for a ride with it. Let's see if the winch releases or does anything. I have no idea what's going to happen. Didn't work, but it did just release fine and it pulled it in empty. I guess this weekend, well, won't be this weekend, get a lot of rain coming. I guess we'll have to get all the fluids done and just take it down back, and I'll cut some firewood with it, cut a couple pieces, and we'll see what it does. But I'm going to get it warmed up, make sure the temperature gauge works on it. So far it seems to be pretty good. Runs like a top. I'd say that was a pretty successful maiden voyage with her. I tell ya, I think it's pretty tight considering it's been sitting and it hasn't really been used a whole lot over the course of its life where it's been. I think it's only cut a couple cord of firewood every year. Sitting is what gets these things, so we'll bring her back, but it runs good. The seat's rough shape. That's minor. We can get one of them. It needs a lot of little things, and I can see that thing. Obviously, the valve bank is soaked, so probably address that. That way, my feet aren't getting covered with hydraulic oil if I'm running it this winter at all. And yeah, I don't know how somebody, it's got a weird brake pedal. It's supposed to have this style, and yeah, anyway, somebody broke it. And the clutch pedal needs to have a clutch adjustment. I can tell it's way out and the spring's weird. The throttle linkage is really like, you're almost like flat-footed with it. It should be like up here. So I'm gonna see what's going on with that. I can tell she's got some hours on her because compared to mine, like these metal foot pads are worn right off. Mine still got all the nubs on them, and it's supposed to have a TIMBERJACK donkey head on it. So she got some hours, but that don't mean anything. And I'm stoked with it for as tight as it is. The center is set. I thought it was sloppy, but what it is I don't know if you can see. It needs some shims, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to shim the top because the top is tight, and the top actually, you can see where it scrapes right there. So I think it just needs some brass shims, and we'll shim it up. And the bushings actually back and forth. There's no play. It's just up and down on the shims there. So I'll put some shims in it. I'm going to check and change all planetary oils, rear ends, transmission, and we'll do the engines. So that's going to be next. And then we can actually take it in the woods and try it. So we'll start. I'm going to get all the fluids and filters this weekend, and that'll be the next video. We'll throw this in there, doing a service on it, and then we'll get her in the woods and really see what happens with it. That's when all the excitement comes out in these, when they've been sitting. Put some wood behind it for a couple hours and she'll start leaking and oozing oil out of spots that it never has. But that's why we got it. We're going to fix her back up, make sure she's loved, and make it do what it's supposed to do. Let's pull some wood. But guys, thanks a lot for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.